It pains me to say it, but I'm officially leaving the Democratic Party. Now, before you go thinking, oh, Andy's been sipping on that Kool-Aid, oh, he's buying into their message wholeheartedly, slow down, relax. I'm actually not switching party lines necessarily. I'm not jumping from the Crips in order to join the Bloods. No, I'm actually choosing to register as an independent going forward. Now, the reason is simple. I no longer feel that the Democratic Party and their ideals are aligned with me and my values. What does that mean? Well, ultimately, I kind of look at the election, the last election, and what the Dems have been doing since then. Right? You lose an election. They didn't lose it. It wasn't a small loss, right? They got their asses handed to them, right? But rather than sit down and do some soul searching, figure out what that means, they're basically just labeling everyone. And now it's our job as Dems, right? To say, everyone who voted for this dude, they're Nazis or they're racist or they're X, Y, or Z. That's basically it. Doesn't sound like the Democratic Party that I knew when I was growing up. So a little bit of background. I'm from Long Island. Born in Brooklyn, raised on Long Island. So pretty much blue state, surrounded by blue politics my whole life. And that's fine. But lately, the message seems to be, I feel like they've just lost their minds. The main message right now is all immigration. That's like their big buy-in. That's where they put all their chips are in on one bet. Betting on immigration. Now I ask you, if you're currently a Democrat, is that the main thing on your mind right now? I don't know. Lately, I've been concerned with the proliferation of AI and what our lawmakers can do to potentially put regulations in place so that entry-level jobs and all jobs are not being lost. Because after all, we have a bunch of college students going to school, graduating, they're expecting to get entry-level jobs. But guess what? Now we're hearing that ChatGPT can do 80% or whatever percent of those jobs now. Okay, well, what are our students going to do? Because y'all have made it super easy for kids to take out loans, and once they get out of school, they're gonna have to start paying back those loans. How are they gonna do that? That's not what they're focused on. How about the erosion of the middle class? How about the fact that in most blue states, real estate is ridiculously priced? California, New York, and the major cities, real estate is pretty much unattainable for most people. What about that? Are they addressing it? Are they building more low-income housing? No. Matter of fact, they're doing everything in their power to make sure that low-income housing is not built at all. So we had Barclays Stadium built in Brooklyn, and that was pretty much subsidized. The majority was subsidized by taxpayers. One of the biggest taxpayer got all these flies. I feel like it's trying to fly directly into my mouth. Taxpayer finance. But they were supposed to build a bunch of housing along with it. And if the housing wasn't built by maybe it was 2023, then they were supposed to be facing fines. And yeah, our Democratic politicians, they've decided to ignore those fines for the time being. So everything that we actually want, the things that we want, the things that we're looking for, they have no interest. But now, because we're Dems, we're supposed to fight along party lines, now they're telling us, no, the big fight is immigration. And what are they telling us? Well, if they're able to deport illegal immigrants, they're going to be able to deport American citizens next. How, Sway? In what world? See, politicians are good. They're good actors, basically. They're really good at gaining your attention. They're really good at I was looking forward, not inspiring you. They're really good at getting clicks. That's it. We live in a click-based world now. Clicks and likes. So they make all of these meme-worthy posts. They're going to ICE facilities. They're getting themselves arrested. They know they're not really going to prison. They know they're not supposed to be at those facilities. They're doing it. It's all a big show. All to show, oh, you see? Look at us. We're politicians and our civil rights are being trampled on. You're next. You're next. They're full of shit. Okay? American citizens would not get detained by ICE. You want to know why? Because they're American citizens. They're not immigrants. don't believe the lies that they tell you. And most of them, they don't believe this stuff either, mind you. They just need to keep saying things so that you keep getting upset. And the more upset you are, the less attention you pay to the things that really matter. Yeah, I'm sick of it. All protests all over the country. I'll do a separate video on immigration, but I will say this. It is interesting how much money all of these sanctuary cities were able to, all of the money they were able to get together and start paying hotel owners. Money hand over fist. Just tons of money being thrown around. Heard of immigrants were even getting debit cards. Oh, that would be nice. You know who might appreciate a debit card? Some of your hardworking constituents who also can't necessarily afford all of their bills. I don't know. It's interesting what they choose to do with their taxpayer money. I wish that we could actually vote what our tax money was used for. Unfortunately, that's out of our control. All this money taken out of my paycheck. And it's like, if I could see something, if I could see infrastructure being taken care of, I'd be like, okay, well, there it goes. At least they're taking my money and doing something good with it. But no, that's not what's happening. I wonder what their plan is for the next election. Are they going to triple down on immigration? Because let me tell you right now, if their only plan is to keep going forward the way they have been, it's not going to work out. I don't see, this is just my humble prediction, I don't see a Democratic presidency happening for at least the next at least bare minimum, not the next cycle, definitely not. And probably not the one after that. I mean, who's going to be the candidate? AOC? Not happening. We already know Bernie Sanders can't get elected. So yeah, I'm switching over to independent. Switching over, and I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna make sure my politicians are gonna have to work for my vote from now on. I'm no longer just voting along party lines. That stuff is dead, man. That's bull. And also, I'm tired of being a part of the losing squad. I don't know. A blue squad, they've been looking weak lately. And I don't know, I'd like to see a little bit of strength, and I'd like to see them focus on issues that actually matter to their constituents. I mean, I have nothing against immigrants. I'm a child of immigrants. But at the end of the day, who are the people that are paying your salaries, right? I believe they're US citizens. Anyway, there are tons of cars passing. Probably time that I end this video. But why don't you let me know what you think? Are you going to continue voting along party lines? Is immigration a really big, really important issue to you? Or maybe you're Republican. What do you think about Dems or people across the aisle switching over to independent and choosing to have their candidates work and actually earn their votes from now on? I don't know. I don't think